Good evening, everyone. My name is Joseph Stubblefield, and we're going to talk about C.M.Es and how they affect the Earth. I've got a couple of great videos. I've got some information from suspicious observers. What a great job he does on YouTube. You guys have to check out his YouTube channel, Suspicious Observers. He puts out a great news every morning, about 4 or 5 minutes. But it's some of the great planetary news that we really lack in today's society. But he seems to cover it very well. So my hat's off to him. Also, YouTube be Heaven Bound put up a video on the Discovery Channel, and that's the video I've downloaded, and I want to play it back for you and give you guys a real good idea on what the planetary, or rather how the Earth aligns with the Sun and takes a C.M.E. and which states would be hit first. Of course, the upper atmosphere states would be hit first, you know, New York, Minnesota, Wisconsin, North Dakota, Montana, Oregon, right across the board. Those states would be the first states to be hit by a large C.M.E. burst and cause their electrical grids to fall first. Okay, and then it would go down the Earth, or vice versa, depending on how the solar storm actually hit and impacted. And it also depends on whether or not the magnetosphere is doing a Swiss cheese dance that day, and it comes through because, well, we all know why, and how the HAARP and been playing with the ionosphere and causing the Swiss cheese to happen. Everybody knows what I mean. Swiss cheese, I mean the holes in the magnetosphere that would allow solar radiation to penetrate through. Okay, so anyway, take back, enjoy yourself, enjoy the show, enjoy the video, and know that God is in control of all these end time events. Okay, He loves you, I love you. Pray hard, pray harder. God bless you. God bless you all. Okay. Enjoy the show. Coming up is a YouTube video from Suspicious Observer, and he's showing us how a C.M.E. is going to hit Earth today, March 16th, okay, 2013. Stay tuned.
Well, folks, if the title didn't give this away, let me say that this nice-looking filament movement from last night was only the beginning. First, you should all know we had medium-sized CMEs set to strike Earth. They are doing so now, a few hours late, but with somewhat more speed than expected. Magnetic disturbance is beginning. The waning inductions from yesterday appear set to return as well. We'll keep watch for auroras and geomagnetic storms, but we have way more. This might be difficult for you to see. It is Earth eclipsing the SDO satellite during the middle of a long-duration event. A filament destabilized between the turning active regions and unleashed a massive C.M.E. And when a filament's hide or flare registers in the M range, the filament explosion should probably be compared to the C.M.E. of an X-class solar flare. There is no good SDO imagery of this, so we go to the GOES SXI. What you should note is that usually solar flares expel particles in a C.M.E., but filament eruptions like this lift off first, and the magnetic reconnection snapping together cause the flaring radiation. Usually filament tsunamis produce a C flare at most. SOHO LASCO data shows the plasma going in all directions. This is a halo eruption and indicates that Earth is directly in the line of fire. Putting the stereo core 2 images with Earth in the center confirms that this will strike our planet. The endless spirals are not updated, so check the comments throughout the day for updates on potential severity of impact. Lastly, folks, with our planet just starting to take this interplanetary shockwave, and the gong doesn't show much chance of the coronal hole being geo-effective, but the field lines suggest it is possible, and the SDO here suggests that it is growing after the blast. Seismic watch must be set, along with alerts for auroras starting when the sun goes down. Chances for a geomagnetic storm, Erkamp zone. Eyes open, no fear, it's 6:15 a.m. Eastern Time, and that's the news. Be safe, everyone. Top story. Coronal Mass Ejection, on its way to Earth. The Earth's perfectly timed eclipse of the satellite blocked only the moment of filament release. You should be able to see bright arcs where none were before. Now this is definitely coming at Earth, but I need to explain some key points here. Most of you think of traditional solar flares and CMEs as coming from sunspots, like this here, a flash of X-ray energy followed by a coronal explosion of particles. Cause and effect. However, filament eruptions like the one we saw yesterday do the opposite. A large mass of plasma destabilizes and releases outward into space, which then causes a Hyder flare, where the electromagnetic connections arc between the edges of the solar tsunami. These are post-explosion flares. Coming back to this one, good news and bad news. The good news is that this was a very wide blast and therefore much less dense and transferring less energy than a narrower eruption like this, which is in my top 5 CMEs ever list. Definitely different when we have these wide blasts. Now the bad news comes from the M spirals. NASA shows direct hit. The best way to notice is watch the far right panel, yellow is Earth. In the perspective from a midnight position, you're looking for a splash. NASA's arrival prediction time is only hours from now. That is one speedy CME. NOAA confirms both the impact to Earth and the speed. On the right, you'll see the spike at the end of the day today, up to 800 kilometers per second. Color code actually suggests it could be a bit faster. One-day arrival CMEs have a chance to be significant for satellites and maybe even electrical systems. The solar wind metrics are showing yesterday's minor CME impact is waning. We had no geomagnetic storms. Sunspots, although they appear unable to flare with power, they are still able to move plasma fairly well, including a departing southern region. Up north, a filament set between those sunspots is destabilizing and probably won't be there tomorrow. The CME just popped out of the southern region as well. We're not done yet. Energetic flux at planet Earth is about 10 times what it was during the CME impact yesterday. We are nearly at a polar radiation storm. To top all this off, the umbral field never opened yesterday, but this is what I was afraid of. It's opening now and must be watched as it turns to face the Earth. Also might want to watch the radiation levels near the poles and this CME, which everyone expects to hit before we speak again tomorrow.
And be in prayer. Pray harder. Pray hard. Pray hard. Pray hard. Have fun. Thank you.